In the dead of night, while the world sleeps, a single light burns in a modest apartment in La Coruca, Spain. Inside, a man, well into his 80s, hunches over a simple wooden table. He's not counting his billions, nor is he planning his next lavish vacation. He's cutting fabric. This man is Amancio Ortega, the phantom billionaire behind the global fashion empire Zara. His story isn't just about success. It's a masterclass in stealth, obsession, and a secret that has remained hidden in plain sight for decades. Our story begins not in a boardroom, but on the gritty streets of post-war Spain. Born in 1936, Amancio's childhood was marked by poverty. One evening, at just 13 years old, he witnessed a moment that would ignite a fire within him. He saw his mother leave a shop, her head bowed in shame after being refused credit to buy groceries. The family had no money. In that instant of quiet humiliation, Amancio made a vow. His family would never go hungry again. He dropped out of school and started working as a delivery boy for a local shirt maker. This wasn't just a job. It was an apprenticeship in the real world. He wasn't just delivering shirts. He was absorbing everything. He learned about fabrics, about cutting, about stitching, about what customers wanted. He saw the massive gap between the high-fashion designs shown in magazines and what ordinary people could actually afford. The wealthy had beautiful clothes, while everyone else was left with dull, uninspired options. He saw an injustice, but more importantly, he saw an opportunity. For years, he worked tirelessly, saving every peseta he could. He wasn't just a worker. He was a silent observer, a student of the streets. While others his age were out socializing, Amancio was in the back room, his mind racing, connecting dots no one else could see. He realized the traditional fashion model was broken. Designers would create collections months, sometimes a year, in advance. By the time the clothes hit the stores, the trends were already stale. It was slow, inefficient, and disconnected from the customer. In 1963, with a meager capital, less than $100, he started his first venture from his own living room. He and his first wife, Rosalia Mera, began making and selling quilted bathrobes. It was a humble beginning. They weren't designing haute couture. They were making something simple, something people needed. But they were doing it differently. They controlled the entire process, from buying the fabric to sewing the final stitch. This obsession with control would become the cornerstone of his future empire. For the next 12 years, they operated in the shadows, growing their small business piece by piece. Then, in 1975, a disaster struck. A German client unexpectedly cancelled a massive order, leaving Amancio on the brink of bankruptcy. He was stuck with a mountain of inventory and no way to sell it. Panic could have easily set in. Ruin was staring him in the face. But for Amancio, this crisis was a catalyst. He had a radical idea. Instead of trying to find another wholesaler, why not sell directly to the people? He found a small storefront on a central street in La Coruca. He had a name in mind, Zorba, after the film Zorba the Greek. But there was a problem. A nearby bar already had that name. Scrambling, he looked at the letters he had already ordered for the sign. Z-O-R-B-A. He rearranged them. Zara was born. This first Zara store was an experiment. But it was an experiment that would change the world. Amancio's secret weapon wasn't just affordable clothing, it was speed. He created a system that was unheard of at the time. His store managers weren't just salespeople, they were intelligence agents. They listened to customers. What did they like? What were they asking for? What were celebrities wearing that week? This information was relayed back to headquarters every single day. While other brands were planning seasons, Zara was reacting in real time. A new design could go from a sketch to the shop floor in just 15 days. This concept became known as fast fashion, and Amancio Ortega was its architect. New items arrived in stores twice a week, creating a constant sense of urgency and scarcity. Customers knew if they didn't buy that jacket today, it would be gone by tomorrow. It was addictive. It was brilliant. As Zara exploded across Spain and then the world, its founder remained a ghost. For decades, not a single photograph of Amancio Ortega was publicly available. He gave no interviews. He never attended fashion shows or industry galas. While titans like Bernard Arnault and Francois Pinault flaunted their wealth and power, Amancio was invisible. He lived in the same simple apartment, frequented the same local coffee shop, and ate lunch with his employees in the company cafeteria. This wasn't just humility, it was a strategy. He believed the company was the star, not him. He wanted the focus to be on the clothes, on the customer, on the relentless efficiency of the system he had built. He became a legend, a myth in the business world. The man who built a multi-billion-dollar empire without ever seeking the spotlight. He became richer than Warren Buffett, richer than Bill Gates. At one point becoming the wealthiest man in the world, and still, most people wouldn't have recognized him on the street. His empire Inditex, which includes Zara and other brands like Massimo Dutti and Pull & Bear, became a logistical masterpiece. He invested heavily not in advertising, but in technology and logistics. He built a colossal distribution center in Spain, a beehive of activity known as the Cube, where clothes are sorted, tagged, and shipped to over 90 countries within 48 hours. He defied all business school logic. He centralized his production close to home in Spain and Portugal when everyone else was outsourcing to Asia. This gave him unparalleled speed and control. But here is where the story takes its most surprising turn. The secret to Amancio Ortega's phenomenal success isn't just fast fashion, or logistics, or even his legendary invisibility. It's something far more fundamental. Something that goes back to that moment he saw his mother turned away from the grocery store. The entire Zara empire, this colossal world-spanning machine, is built on a single, powerful emotion: insecurity. Think about it. Why do new clothes arrive twice a week? To create a fear of missing out? Why are designs produced in limited quantities? To make you feel that if you don't buy it now, you'll lose your chance. The constant churn, the ever-changing styles, it all taps into a deep-seated human desire to fit in, to be current, to not be left behind. Amancio Ortega didn't just sell clothes. He monetized anxiety. He understood that fashion, at its core, is about social status and belonging. By creating a system of constant newness and scarcity, he turned shopping from a necessity into a high-stakes treasure hunt. He didn't just fulfill demand, he created it, week after week, in thousands of stores across the globe. The boy who felt the sting of poverty and shame built an empire by mastering the very emotions that drove him. He didn't just build a company. He engineered a global psychological phenomenon. The quiet man cutting fabric in his apartment didn't just want to sell bathrobes. He wanted to ensure that no one, if they had the means, would ever feel the way his mother did, that day left out, behind, and wanting. And in doing so, he quietly, almost invisibly, rewrote the rules of the entire fashion industry. The Phantom of Zara wasn't just a businessman, he was a master psychologist, hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the minds of the world's most influential figures. See you in the next one.